What's up? It's Filthy Casual here. I think I am going to try to talk louder in this time. I just recorded this video and I was uploading it and I was listening to it, and I think I'm not really talking into the mic, even though I feel like I am. So hopefully the audio will be better on this time. I'm going to try to speak a little bit more clearly, and hopefully video quality will follow. So this is a video more about Kevin Durant and like what players you actually could maybe possibly trade for, and like what you want for Kevin Durant. Obviously, all of these include picks. All of these include picks to varying degrees, probably some kind of degree of the Rudy Gobert trade, because that is really the main thing the Nets want. We also want some good players because of our pick situation in Brooklyn, but we are mainly looking for those. Well, we need those picks for any deal because Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. So here's the list: Giannis, Curry, LeBron, Embiid, Jokic. None of those players are going to get traded. LeBron's the most likely, and LeBron's not going anywhere. He's a one-year deal. The Nets don't want him. There's no way. Harden, LOL. F Harden. F you, James Harden. We're not trading for them. I think the New York Nets, Brooklyn Nets organization is done with James Harden. We do not want to be any associated with him. Whose man's is that? Not ours. Luka, next on the list, on his rookie max extension, can't play with Ben Simmons. We'd have to trade Ben Simmons, which I would if we got Luka, but no way Luka's getting traded. Next, AD, street clothes, my G, in Los Angeles, where he wants to be, but doesn't want to be in New York. And really, honestly, if we were to trade for him, the fit with Kyrie would be awesome if Kyrie wanted to stay here. Something tells me he doesn't want to stay here, despite opting into his player deal and player option rather. And I just don't see the Lakers having the assets to trade for KD. Yeah, if you gave up AD, and I mean, we wouldn't even want Westbrook, really. We really don't. So this trade is probably the one that's the biggest, like, would it happen? I don't think the Lakers would do it just because they've already won a title with AD. But Jeannie Buss has been cryptic tweeting, so who knows? Kawhi Leonard, I don't think the Clippers say yes. They've already given up all this draft capital to get Kawhi Leonard, who's arguably a top 5 player in the league. And, why are they going to give up more and Kawhi to get KD? Makes no sense. You'd want to pair them together. So you'd give up PG-13, who's also on this list, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Next up, we've got Tatum, Booker, and Zach LaVine, all on their rookie max extensions. You can't trade for them because you've got Ben Simmons. Obviously, if we got, Jason Tatum, we would probably give up Ben Simmons to get something. I don't know what his value is, but I don't think any of those players are quote unquote available. Maybe Zach LaVine more so than these other two, but I believe you can't get traded for a year after you sign a new deal, one of these max extensions like that. So I don't think that's in the cards. So then we've got Jaylen Brown, which is if I'm the Brooklyn Nets and I'm a Brooklyn Net fan, why am I trading for Jaylen Brown? He's not young. He's not old, but he's not young. So he'll be in his prime for the next 5 years to pair with Ben Simmons. So that's a good starting point. But what else are you going to get? We're going to want probably someone like Rob Williams thrown in there, and, a lot of pick capital. And they just traded for Malcolm Brogdon. So something tells me that they're trying to run it back, especially considering they were only 2 wins away from a title. So I don't think they were prepared to make the leap for KD with Brooklyn's asking price. So throw it out the door. Next, Chris Middleton, awesome player, great player. Not for KD. They're not even remotely on the same level. Cash Money Chris is great, but not great enough. So next we've got John Zion, both on their rookie max deals. Can't trade it. Donovan Mitchell, this is a question mark. I think if he was to come to New York, he would come to the Knicks. But the bigger issue with this is that Donovan Mitchell they're trying to build around him in Utah, and they traded Rudy Gobert, and they're saying they don't want to trade for, and they've got all these picks and stuff, and they're saying they want to build around him. And I believe the Jazz in that. And I think that Donovan Mitchell is happy where he is now that Rudy's not there, at least for a year or two, until he gets fed up with losing without Rudy Gobert, and then he'll come to the Knicks. Don't you wish you come into the Knicks? So yeah, Cat, Bam Adebayo, Trae Young, all on rookie max extensions. Can't trade for them. Rudy Gobert also just got traded. Can't trade for him. Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, Dame Lillard. Bradley Beal. This man's making $60 million more than KD. And he's so much worse than KD. He's worse than Paul George. He's worse than so many players in the league, and he's the highest paid player in the league. Actually, I think Jokic's extension was like slightly more valuable, slightly more money, but oh no, he's number 2. How poverty stricken, right? We don't want Bradley Beal. Jimmy Butler, why would you trade Jimmy Butler for KD to pair with Bam Adebayo? Like, yeah, is that team better? Maybe. But Jimmy Butler was the best player in this year's playoff. He just was. He had the best statistical. He had those couple of games in the conference finals that he completely vanished for some reason. I think, probably injury. There was that. But before that, and even kind of after that, he was the best player in the playoffs by far. It wasn't close. So why would you trade him? He's at least he might not be the best player next year, but he's probably going to be up there. And he's shown that he can do it. He's taking to the finals. He's taking to the conference finals. So why would you trade him? Doesn't make sense. Dame Lillard, this one is like, why would you trade Dame? You want to trade KD to pair with Dame. Like, KD and Anthony Simons? Like, come on. Like, what is that? Like, and we would prefer Anthony Simons to Dame, because, like, why would we want Dame? Dame's like 32. He wants to compete for a title. The guy doesn't want to be in Brooklyn with Ben Simmons. Like, that's not, like, he might talk himself into it for like a year, but then he'd ask for a trade. What would happen if they made it the whole year, if Ben Simmons wasn't out the entire time, and Dame's coming off an injury? So please no. Paul George, I said we'd get back to this, but really, honestly, Paul George is not good enough of a player, and he's not young enough. Even plus, all the Clippers have pick-wise is not that much, because they already traded everything to get Paul George and to get Kawhi. So why are they going to give up more capital to make, maybe not a completely lateral move, but it's not a strong enough thing. They already have all this depth. They already got John Wall. They're probably going to try to run it with this. And, at this point, they're, them and the Celtics and the Bucks are probably the favorites. And, of course, the Warriors. But, after Paul George, this is when it starts getting, well, maybe not super dicey. We've got SGA, who OKC are like sleepers, but like I don't think they would actually trade for Kevin Durant, just because they just spent all these years tanking. Why are they going to give up all these assets? Granted, they do have the assets, and theoretically, if you paired KD up with like Chet, maybe that's something. If Chet is, what all he was cracked up to be. So maybe SGA is a little bit more, quote unquote, disposable, but not really. So that one is a little bit sus, but hey, they actually have the assets and a player we would want. So this could be a winner. I don't recall if I actually mentioned DeAndre Ayton before. I don't like the Suns package. DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges, not Gucci, not fun. Why would I want that? It's just not enough for KD, even with all the picks in the world. Like, DeAndre Ayton's cool. He's good. He's not going to be a perennial all-star. I don't believe in him like that. He might get a couple of all-star appearances, but I don't believe he's going to be a perennial all-star. When I watch him play, I just don't see it. So who else? De'Aaron Fox on his rookie max extension. Brandon Ingram. If I'm the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram isn't enough to get KD. You'd need to give up a lot more. And at that point, I would just rather have Ingram's production and then all the surrounding pieces, or at least for a little bit, to see how CJ and everything meshes with Zion. And then once you see how that all meshes, then you can make an informed decision. Right now, it's a guessing game, and in the guessing game where you might be good without it, I think you have to wait, which is partly why I don't think we're going to get a Kevin Durant trade until, the start of the season or right before. Moving on, Westbrook, gross, not for KD. Sabonis, he just got traded and also gross, not nearly good enough. What else does the Kings have? Like Davion Mitchell. So then you've got Siakam, Van Vliet, and OG Anunoby for the Raptors. I would say this is probably the only thing that I could see happening where you get two of those three. However, I'm not sure if the Raptors would do it just because they feel like they're one piece away, I think. I think they're a really, really good team through and through. Got Scottie Barnes, so I think their likelihood of trading for KD is higher than most of the people on this list. However, I don't think they feel pressured to give up all the assets that the Brooklyn Nets are asking for. And at this point, I don't really feel like a trade is there because the only other people I have left on this list is Michael Porter Jr., who's coming off of a back surgery, and I don't even think it's a max player. But he's young, possibly he turns into something else. And then I just have any recent top 3 pick. But nobody's trading those people. So here's the list: LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Mobley, Kate Cunningham, Chet, Paulo, all these guys. Who's trading these players? Nobody's trading these players. The only one that might be on the market is Wiseman, and Wiseman's not enough. And the Warriors would not be willing to give up Wiggins, Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, 2 first round picks and a pick swap. That's like a massive haul for Kevin Durant, who was on their team 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, but you know what I mean. It's just they're not going to do it. So at this point, Kevin Durant doesn't really look like he's getting traded anywhere. And if I'm the Nets, I'm not, and I'm a fan, so hopefully they listen to me. I'm not trading him. I'm not. I'm saying, sorry, bro. Like, nobody, like, you're going to have to lace up. You're going to have to play. Like, we're going to try to run it back. And if something happens during the season that makes it so, like, trading you makes sense for both sides, we'll do it. But right now, like, hey, you got Kyrie. You say you still want to play with Kyrie. You're here now. You're here for a year. Try to get this title. That's kind of how I feel. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I think I've tried to put together as many people as I could think of. Did I forget anyone? Let me know in the comments. And if not, thank you for watching. All right. Filthy out.